Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Big Bad Bench. My name is John, aka Big Bad Biologist. And today, are we live? Yeah, I think we're live. Um, sorry. I'm still getting used to the new OBS setup. Um, Today, we're going to be working on several computers. A Macintosh LC475, a Macintosh Classic 2, and Macintosh IIvx. And so we're starting off with a working computer. So on the Big Bad Bench is a Macintosh LC475. Let's get off my face. We don't want to see that. We want to see this sexy, sexy Macintosh LC475. And it's currently running. You can see here. Well, you can't see what model it is, right? Oh, there we go. Got our 40 megs of RAM. We got our 753. This one's like Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So this is my LC475, and basically I'm showing this to you because I have a feeling this is going to be the last time we're going to get anything to work today. This is going to be one of those streams where I have a feeling we will have less stuff working at the end of the stream than we do at the beginning, which I guess is unfortunately a little bit too common around here. But sometimes good things happen. Let me show you this EGRET chip. So this chip in the middle right here is called the EGRET chip or the CUDA chip, depending on which model of Mac you're talking about. And basically it has a little bit of ROM, it has a little bit of RAM, it has some like CMOS settings. Like this thing is a very complicated little chip, but it is critical for turning on vintage Macintoshes. And unfortunately, because they're so specialized, they're kind of a pain in the butt. And so this is what we're going to be swapping around today in some different things. So let me say hi to folks in the chat. We got Francois Rival, who has done a ton of work. Let's switch over to that real quick. Let's show this. This is a real sexy spreadsheet that Francois worked on, talking about the EGRET. Did a lot of work trying to decode these things. There's a nice thread on Tinker Different that I have linked in the video description. And so people have been trying to decode these things, figure out what was in the little ROMs and all that. And I think finally DOS Fox, who we mentioned a couple weeks ago, they actually have succeeded in creating new ones of these. The issue being that the chips that you need to make new ones are basically non-existent. And so replacements are possible if you can find the bare chips, but unfortunately, they're just not going to be freely available. So Francois Raval, hello. Dave's Vintage Apple Tech is not here, but in spirit, doing Christmas decorations. All Things DG has egrets in his house. Yeah, well, I guess I do too. These kind though, this kind. Gut Bomb is here. Gut Bomb just released an awesome video on the Power Mac 6100 yesterday. Make sure to check that out. Gut Bomb, put that in the description here or in the chat. People can go watch it when I start freaking out and getting frustrated. Starbuck Tech is here. Chris Angelis is here. Lazy Blue Goat is here. Oh, Chris Angelis says how awesome Gut Bomb 6100 video is too. All Things DG. Tech Ambrosia is here. Garth Beagle's here. Hello, everyone. Tech Ambrosia says, go watch Gut Bomb's video. Yes, everyone should watch Gut Bomb's video. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take this EGRET off, and we're going to put it onto a different motherboard. Now, unfortunately, what you're looking at here is this EGRET was on a battery bombed, or I guess it's going to be a CUDA, because it was on a Power Mac 6100. And so that thing got 8. So this EGRET got 8. But so what I had to do was grind out a little corner and so that I could get the pins in there. The EGRET that was on this board I used to repair my Power Mac 7100. And so this is what we're dealing with. We're like swapping CUDA chips around to try to make functional computers. I realized that I do have another board that has a different numbered CUDA chip that I haven't run into yet. So I think what we might actually do first is try that other CUDA chip on this board and see if it actually works, because I don't think it's cataloged anywhere. And so, Francois, we might need to add it to your spreadsheet potentially. So we're using hot air here. Just gonna take this guy off. So yeah, basically I have two of this one. I think, I forget the model number. It's like 188 or 788 or something like that. I have two functioning ones of these. One's in my Power Mac 7100. Again, when we're using hot air like this, you don't want to get too crazy with the pulling on it. Just let the thing work. I'm going to set that over on that chip. I'm going to take this guy, this little jumper guy. We're going to reuse him. Okay, Bacchus is here. Hello. All right. So now let's go over. Let's show you what I'm planning here. Let's see if this works. So go back to this. So this is the logic board from a Power Mac 6200 or one of those variants. And it came out at around the same time as all of these. Let's see, what else do we got here? This one is a Power Mac, or a Quadra 630. Okay, yeah. So you can see our CUDA chip is 341S0060. That is the same one that is on this Power Mac 6200 board. There you go. And so I have a bunch of these. Someone had posted a bunch of these on eBay real cheap. So I have these. So let's try to pull this one off and see if it works on the LC475. So Francois is explaining some things. Feel free to correct anything I say wrong, Francois. Yeah, the Power Mac 6200 is basically really similar to the Quadra 630. Let's see here. Go back to microscope. There's this guy. Why is it so dark? Hey, Ian Scott is here. Yeah, so Ian, that was a failed experiment. I tried a 68060 on my, well, I tried it in several Macintoshes, and it chimes, but it doesn't do anything after that, which is, it's neat, but I think the ROMs would need to be hacked in order to work it. So my rationale here is that if the 475 and the 7100 EGRETs are interchangeable, then I would imagine that the 6200 would be interchangeable as well. And since the 6200 and the 630 are basically the same, maybe this will work. But we will see. This is an experiment. We're doing a live experiment here at the Big Bad Bench. Unlike the experiment I did yesterday with the Vegemite, that experiment wasn't so great. Although there was someone commented and said that you gotta use less. So I will try it. I have another thing of Vegemite. There we go. Okay. Supposedly, I found a post online about someone that made an LC475 work with a 68060. And I messaged them, and they got back to me. And when I asked like if they had any of the ROM files that they made, they stopped responding. So I don't know. Theoretically, it's out there, but I don't know. So theoretically, I can use the hot air to solder these on. I find it's just easier to wick off and start fresh. Okay, that all looks good. This should face this way. Does the PowerMac 6100 have an EGRET chip? Yes, they call it a CUDA, but I mean basically it's the same dealie. And like I said, the one that I pulled off of this system right now actually came on a 6100. That's why it had a giant hole in it, because it was in a battery bomb 6100. Hello FLX, by the way, welcome. The table I made was based on checking schematics. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, Francois did a lot of work trying to decode these things and figure some stuff out. And I mean, it seems like the pinouts are all the same. It's just like the contents of the little ROMs that are on there. And like, it's not much as far as content. Like, I think, what is it, like 4,000 bytes or 3,800 bytes or something like that that's stored on these things. Like, it's a super tiny amount of information. And so if anyone, DOSFox has, or actually if you check that thread, there's information that DOSFox has posted about how to get replacements and how to program and that kind of thing. So if anyone happens to come across any of those, let me know. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just keep my eye on eBay for battery bomb boards so that I can fix some of these systems more permanently. Okay, I think we're all soldered up there. Let's go back to here. All right, what do we think, folks? Is this one gonna work? So this is this PowerMax 6200 EGRET on an LC475. 3, 2, 1. We got chime. Got no video. Oh, we got video. Main screen turn on. Yeah. Sweet. All right, this is good. This is good. That's cool. All right, PowerMax 6200 boards are relatively cheap, so that's a nice to know. Oh, right. Let's turn this on. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. All right, we did an experiment that worked. Freaking yeah. Cool. All right. I would really love to save a second LC475. I care much less about PowerMax 6200s. Exactly, as Garth says, definitely kill a 6200 to save a 475. So obviously our time's going to be screwed up here, so let's go back. Date and time. Yeah, so we're in 1956 again. Let's click this a bunch of times. What month are we in? We're at the end of November. What the heck, people? This is wild. It's almost December. Who's excited for December? What time is it? It's afternoon. It's probably around this time. What time? 12:17. All right. We did an experiment in 17 minutes. All right, cool. Let's shut this off. Oh, I forgot to check out the memory mode. It's okay. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to take that effed up little CUDA chip and put it on this LC475. I want to show you what this thing does when we power it up. Okay, so we're booting. Fuck, it says that's the BBB efficiency we expect. Yeah, Francois, man, if you can actually figure out a way to create new versions of this mess, like looking at the chip schematics on these things, it just breaks my brain. There's too much happening on one chip. Like I'm barely able to handle like an LS744 LS. What's the Mux? Yeah, 744. This thing, there's way too much happening. Let's see, date and time. Yay, it saved our date and time. Okay, cool. All right, so let's shut this down and let's go to our other one. Let me show you what the symptoms are on that one. And it is a relatively weird symptoms. Okay. Oh, sorry. No, we're not doing more Vegemite today. I've had enough Vegemite for a week. At least a week. All right. Let's pull this off. Get our VRAM. And we don't need actual RAM because there's enough on the board. This is going to be a little precarious, so avert your eyes if you have a sensitive stomach. Oh, you little thing. Don't you run away, you little wire. This wire is critical to the success of everything. All right, let's set that aside for now. I'm going to hold this jankily. And put that up there. And put this over here. All right, so you can see We got our VRAM in, we got our battery in. That's all the kind of things that you need for an LC475 to work properly. And here we go, 3, 2, 1. We get that. Sometimes we get something else. Sometimes we get an actual chime, but then it doesn't do anything. Vegemite was yesterday's stream, Garth. You missed yesterday's stream, didn't you? Okay, let's try this again. That is sad. This thing is sad. So we get a sad chime here. Let's see what happens if we take the battery out. Okay. Without the battery, we get a chime. But we never get video. So this just sits and sits and sits. And you would think, yeah, that's probably not the EGRET, that's probably something else. But no, watch what happens if we swap this EGRET chip. So there you go. There's our evidence. No, this is just a regular LC475 board. All right. On, off, on. And it'll just sit here, yeah. Not doing a whole lot of anything. And then we'll do it again. Yeah. It's just not doing a thing. It's not doing a thing. All right, so let's take this back off. This is very precarious. Okay, back under the microscope. Yeah, it's a very weird symptom that I'm getting with this one. Okay. There we go. Let's try to focus it a little bit for y'all. Okay. Go back to here. So the reason that I've started playing with these is because a couple weeks ago, I started losing Macintoshes. Like my 7100 just decided to stop doing stuff. And then I lost an LC2 and an LC. And I think it was a keyboard that was killing all those systems. And it would make sense that theoretically, since the keyboard is part of the power on circuit, that a keyboard theoretically could do this. I don't understand how it could, but because it interfaces with these things, it theoretically makes sense that it could do it. So eventually, we're going to disassemble that keyboard and try to figure out what's going on there. Yes, Garth. They need to do a thing. Computers should do a thing. Oh, also, update from yesterday's stream with the Game Gears. So one of the things that was happening, so at first we were just getting weird artifacting with the screen. And then basically it would power on and immediately power off, and the red light would go away, which is normally suggestive of some sort of a power issue. And so I went back and looked more carefully over my work, and it turns out that, like the freaking idiot that I am, I soldered a tant on backwards in one position. And so that was the reason why that thing kept powering off yesterday, which is so dumb. I can't believe I did that. Although I guess, I mean, if I do stuff like put the AT power connectors on the wrong way, you would expect me to be able to do something wrong, like putting caps on the wrong way. Gotta be careful with those tantalums. They don't like going the wrong way around. A little much. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that if it had more voltage running through it, it probably would have popped right away. But I think I forget what the voltage rails. There is a 38 volt rail, but that's for the screen, and I don't think it was on that. So if you didn't see yesterday's stream, go check that out. It was sort of fun and frustrating at the same time. And we looked at the weird thing. I don't know what that weird thing is. Maybe we'll take that apart today. We do have a full array of activities scheduled for today, though. Hey, Callan. Welcome. Okay, so here's our little bodge. Oh man, it's so hard to do this with only one eye. I have no depth perception here when I'm streaming people. I apologize for looking like I'm completely incompetent. I know I prove that I'm sort of incompetent, but in situations like this, I blame it on only having access to one eye. Oh, come on, you. So again, this is the CUDA from a PowerMax 6100. I'm gonna rotate slightly. I think I can get a better angle. There we go. So, and Cutbomb proved that the PowerMax 6100 was a pretty swell little machine in his new video. And I wouldn't have just stolen this straight away, but it was a battery bomb. Oh. So, there we go. Yeah, when I switch my microscope so that I go up to the camera, it gets rid of the 2 eyepieces and only gives me one. So everything here is one eye. It's very disorienting when you're trying to do tiny soldering. Okay, I think we're in. Sorry, that took longer than it needed to. Okay, so let's go back to here. Garth says, one eye tied behind my back. Okay, let's try this again. Let's put a battery in this time. Do this. Do that. And get rid of this chip. You set you over here. And let's see what happens now. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wait a second. We need a speaker. 3, 2, 1. Chime. And we got video. So there you go. So there's some weird symptoms from a wonky CUDA. Basically, we would get a chime if the system didn't have a battery. If you had a battery, it would give you death chimes. And so, how about that for weirdness? All right, let's swap this whole thing over and let's see if it boots up. I don't think I've ever actually booted this LC475 completely. Love working on LCs. They're so nice to work on. So for those that don't remember, this LC475 we have overclocked. It's a full fat 68040. And we have it overclocked to 33 megahertz. This is nice. That's why I have a heatsink installed on it. Okay. Video. And let's go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it should take a little while for the video to show up because we have 40 megs of RAM in this guy, but hopefully it'll go. There we got video. Okay, well this is exciting. I'm very happy to sacrifice a 6200 to get another working LC475. That's good stuff. Yay. All right, what's our next thing we're gonna do? So I think it's time to work on the 2VX. The 2VX, yes, our clock is not correct. Control panels, let's go to memory. Let's make sure we turn on our 32-bit addressing. Let's make sure we go back and set our date and time. We'll party like it's 1996. I do want to just double check this real quick. Oh God, oh no, we're going too far in the future. Okay, yeah, there we go. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. And what time is it? 12:35. Okay. Shut down. Shut this off. Give this a second. Ooh, Callan got his LC475 to 40 megahertz. That is awesome. Gotta love a 40 megahertz tiny little computer. LC475 is a sexy, sexy little beast. It's one of my favorites. I have so many favorites in my collection. Okay, let's check our date and time. $11:30, 12:37. All right, cool. So that's good. That's real nice. All right, let's go back to here. All right, now we're going to get to the one that might actually make me cry. Got stuff dropping everywhere. Okay, got to clean these boards up. Put this one back in here. But you're safe, little LC475. You're safe. I'll set you aside for now. Okay. 2VX time. So there on the right is our bad 2VX. And here on the left is our good 2VX. So let's just post this one just to show you that it powers up. Gotta connect a speaker. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, it was very faint, but it chimed, and we're getting video. Sorry. There we go. So you can see we got round corners and arrow. Let's go back to here. Let's shut this guy off. And this 2VX on the right was very battery bombed. This one has about 27 traces that have been repaired. And at various points in my interactions with it, it has chimed sometimes. It used to always give me a gray screen, not the wonky gray, not the half gray screen, but the straight gray screen. So it wasn't quite getting far in the process. Okay, so here you go with this one. 3, 2, 1. All right, and now we're not even powering up on this one. No power at all. So one of the things that we need to check. gonna put, this is from the LC475. Do I have it marked? I have it marked as bad. I'm gonna put 475 on it. 1 second, sorry folks. I'm gonna put you in my EGRET drawer. Okay. So these things need 5 volts to power up. Volts. DC. Here's a thing that we should probably try to take apart at some point. Okay, and so even when powered off, see, that's our 5 volt standby rail, or 5 volt trickle, as the Mac folks call it. And so if we look here, so on that pin as our ground, and there should be 5 volts there. We're getting 4.17 there. And there should be 5 volts there. And we're getting 4.17, 409. So there's something going on here with this EGRET, or I mean, there's something with our 5 volt standby that's not working. And it's not a power supply. You saw we just used this power supply on this board. If we plug this one in, .9, right? So that's way more power than this, and I have a feeling 4.17 is not enough to power up the EGRET. But what happens when we take the EGRET off? So let's pop this chip off. So this EGRET is labeled 341S0851. Where did I put my tweezers? Okay. So this is for the 68030s. They call them EGRETs. I think they started calling them CUDAs in the 68040 Macs. And so here we're going to do a thing. We're going to take this EGRET and put it over on my other one. I hope this doesn't fry something on the other board. I have my airspeed down. I should probably turn it up a little bit. All right, so now with this board, let's take our power supply, put it over here, and let's check our voltage again. Oh, I should double check to make sure I don't have any shorts. 1 second, let me take all that extra solder off of there real quick before we check this. Okay, let's, there. Sorry, go back in the microscope. In and out of the microscope. Sometimes I just worry about little stray solder bits. tip is not the best for doing this kind of thing. Well, a little bit more surface area when you're trying to use your solder braid, especially solder braid that's this big. Okay. All right. Little stray solder bits, happy little solder blobs, shiny little solder blobs. Let's go back to here. Okay. Boop. Power supply on here. And what's our voltage at there? 4.85. 4.85. So it feels like there's something wrong with that EGRET that's like shorting out. See how weird that is? That's so weird, and it makes me not want to put that EGRET onto this board. But for science, I guess we kind of have to. For science, right? Yeah, if I break my other 2VX, I will surely regret it. We will no longer be an EGRET. We will be a full-on regret. Garth agrees with me. We need to do it for science. Okay. Let's go back in the microscope. Hey, pre-standard. Welcome back. This one can see lost a lot of its coloration. I don't think I've taken that. That looks like factory soldering. You can always tell when I do my soldering because I put way too much solder on these things. I'm gonna turn my airspeed up. Hold on one moment. Here. I'm back. Can people hear? Hopefully this didn't destroy everything. Oh. Come on. There we go. We're connected. Hello. I blew a breaker. Gopom was correct. Ah, man. So that'll be fun to see if this whole stream gets lost. It was like the most information we've ever put out on a stream. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so apparently I can't have my space heater, my soldering iron, and my hot air station all on at one time, or we will blow the breaker. So space heater is off now. Let's go back to this thing. We were about to desolder this one. Luckily there was no smoke. Could have been a lot of smoke. Didn't like that extra airspeed I was giving it. Alright, so we were in the process of taking this EGRET chip off of here and trying the one from the bad board. Garth says, next week we'll try 4 quad G5 systems all at once. Yes. Actually, I just picked up my first quad G5 system, Garth. That is something we need to work on at some point. It's been totally disassembled because the guy was gonna convert it to air cooling because he didn't want to have to deal with the bad water cooling. But I think it's actually one of the good water cooling setups that's in that thing. So, but anyway, it's completely disassembled and needs to be rebuilt. Restandard says all the watts. Yes, we used all the watts. Put some of that on there. Oh, and our soldering iron is off. Because I remembered that I can't use them both. Well, I probably can use them both now, but whatever. My workshop is janky. For those of you that don't realize, we don't use janky lightly around here. It's a way of life. I really need to run that second electrical connection back here. Over the summer I was doing some stuff and I found basically a wire that was connected to a breaker that I was never able to figure out where it went, and I still don't know where it went, but I figured out the wire that was connected to the breaker, and I pulled it out of the wall. So I have a spare wire just waiting to be run back here. Come on, you little guy, line up. So this is our bad egret, or what I presume is going to be a bad egret. Because when we had it in the other board, it dropped the voltage from like 4.85 down to 4.17. So it feels like there's some kind of a short in this egret. Yeah, so actually, so the room that my workshop is in actually used to be a prep area of a restaurant. Yes, it's a barn. I've turned it back into a barn basically, but for a while this whole area used to be a restaurant, and there's actually commercial electricity running into the building, like what, maybe 10 feet from me, but we currently have it disconnected because, well, the electric company wouldn't turn it back on without a full-on inspection, which I don't blame them, because it's been so long since it had been used as a restaurant. So I do have a giant breaker right here that is capable of supplying a lot of electricity that is totally unused. Maybe if this YouTube thing takes off at some point, we'll do it for real. Connect up some real electricity back here. Get some three-phase action. Oh, Justin, we're about to have our biggest EGRET right now, I think. So this is a bad CUDA chip. What I think is a bad CUDA chip on a good 2VX board that I hope I do not destroy the good 2VX board. So let's turn our voltmeter back on. Ooh, the big bad bed and breakfast. I love that idea. Okay, and so if you remember, this one said like 4.9 before. It's still saying 4.9, so that's interesting. Okay. 4.9. Maybe this EGRET is fine, and maybe there's something else wrong with that board. Okay, well, let's see if this powers up with this EGRET chip. This is a thing. This was not something I had expected. What do we got? How do we power this guy on? Let's plug in a monitor. And let's go. Powered on. We got chime. Got gray screen. And we got half gray screen with round corners. Okay, so to me, that's saying that that EGRET chip is fine and that there's actually something else wrong with this board. That when the EGRET chip is plugged in, it's pulling 5-volt standby to ground, or, well, slightly shorting out 5-volt standby. So that's interesting. I wonder what the heck that could be. Ian Scott says, my workplace in the basement, which doesn't have a circuit of its own, and like 2 power outlets total. It's a mess of extension cords and cascaded power strips. Yeah, that's not great. It's almost that bad back here. Not quite that bad. All right. So here we go. All right, so let's shut this off. Okay. So basically what this is telling me is I need to have a closer look at this board and figure out what's going on. I'm glad that this EGRET is probably fine, but there's got to be something else wrong over here that I haven't figured out yet. So something in here is probably still a little effed. I've taken all these chips off and looked through them, but I don't know. We'll figure something out. All right, let's go on to the Classic 2 and see if that one is an EGRET. So this, we can set that 2VX aside. That's nice to know we've eliminated something. So even though we haven't fixed the 2VX, or the second 2VX, we've eliminated a possibility for what's wrong. And so I will take that as a win. I'll take any wins I can get. Okay, cool. All right. Set you aside. All right, let me grab the Classic 2 chassis. And I'm gonna grab a Classic 1 logic board. Oh, did I remember to shut off? Do we have DIY cam today? We sort of do. There we go. Okay, this is only a lot precarious. Don't look at it. Okay, so you can see. There we go. So this chassis is a good chassis. So that's a Classic 1 board that just beeped. I barely call it a chime. It's more of a beep. Oh, let's see here. Classic 1 goes away. Classic 2 comes on. And basically we get nothing. If we go to III DIY cam, sometimes we get something on the screen, but most of the time it just stays black. And so I've tried a lot of stuff with this board. I actually put on a new CPU, and I've swapped EGRETs with another Classic 2, but that was also a bad Classic 2 that also was plugged into the bad keyboard. So, go back to here, set this aside, and I think if Francois is correct, the Classic 2, let's look at his spreadsheet thing. Oh, we don't want to look at that. Hello. There we go. If we look at Francois' spreadsheet thing, the Classic 2 and the LCs should be interchangeable. So let's go back to here. So here's a regular Mac LC that I restored. I guess I should prove that it powers on before we do anything. Hi, I80386SX. Sorry if you were here and I missed you. Okay, you're going in here. Okay, this should be all good. We got no chime, but we got video. Oh shit. Sorry, 1 second. I think I need to use a different adapter for this. I think I need to use an adapter. One moment, please. I need to get one of the other adapter majigs out of here. Man, I screwed that one in tight. Two, three, six, seven. 2, 3, 6, 7. I don't know why it's not chiming. I'm getting video. Okay. Jerk LC, power up, man. What the heck? Great. Now our LC died again. Oh, that's why you check things, to make sure they work before you take them apart. All right, let's go with an LC2. Let's go with an LC2. Oh. Okay. Got a chime on that guy. That's fine. Our blue SCSI's not happy because I don't have the SD card installed. Okay, so this is good. This one's good. So what we're gonna do is take this chip off and put it on this board. Does that sound like fun? Okay. Of course it sounds like fun. Taking chips off is what this stream is all about. Oof, this EGRET chip looks sad. Let's leave it in here. So for those of you that don't know, an LC2 does not come with a math coprocessor, but I put a socket on and installed it into this one. So let's go into the micros. Yeah, my other LC, my regular LC would not boot. So I don't know what's going on with that. More issues, probably EGRET related. I'm blaming all my Mac issues on EGRETs at this point. It's always the EGRET fault. Okay. Where did I put my tweezers? Oh, sorry, one moment. So this LC2 booted. We need this LC2 to work because this is the only system where I have one of my, what you can call it, video capture cards that will actually work properly. My video spigot. This is my video spigot system. Come on, you jerk. Gotta make sure to label this one. My high-tech heat shield is not ideal for this situation. It's too close. Okay, so while the hot air's on, go on to here. Have this, gonna label this LC2. Set that on the Classic 2 board for a moment. Set that aside. And now let's get our LC2 back out. And let's take off this solder and we'll put the Classic 2 EGRET on the LC2. goes up here like that. Oh yeah, I should also mention that working on the 2EX is a little bit harder than some of the other systems because there are no schematics, so it's kind of hard. I'm going to have to figure out where all the pins from the EGRET go on that system, because they kind of, we don't know exactly where they go. Oh, Francois, if you got paid for all this work, it wouldn't be fun. My tip before Gutbaum loses his mind. Swapping this around and give myself a slightly easier angle to work with it. Come on, two eyes. Sorry if this is a little out of focus. Since we're in the chassis, the LC is not perfectly flat, so it's going to be kind of wonky. Oh yeah, and Justin, sorry for stealing your word for the thumbnail of this stream. It rhymed, as Garth pointed out. Okay. All right. Let's go back to here. All right, let's see if this guy boots up. So this is the classic 2 EGRET inside the LC2. Did I plug it in the right way? Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. We got chime. Jerk. Ah, that sucks. Man. All right. Well, what's that telling me is that I got to look elsewhere for my classic 2 not booting. I've tried swapping the CPU. I've tried the ROMs. It is not a happy system. All right, let's boot that up just to make sure. Put you in here. And we'll leave you off. What's the extra B for? It's for BYOBB. Isn't that the Simpsons quote? Oh. Doop. Let's see if this actually powers up, boots. There we go. Oh, Oh, I might have an OS installed that, or activated that this system doesn't like. We'll see. Nope, there it goes. Gotta love booting these things in black and white. Oof, yeah, I think this might be trying to boot 753. That's a bit much for this guy. It's gonna try. It's gonna try. It's working hard. That poor little 16 megahertz semi-castrated 68030. Oh yeah, no wonder this is angry. This is my image for the 70 or the 2VX. This is the one that we did the updates. Yeah, this is not gonna be. Yeah, this was for the 2VX system where we put in the PowerPC upgrade card. Cool. Well, dang you little Macintosh Classic 2. You've thwarted me yet again. Oh well, at least I know it's not the EGRET. So, I mean, that's something. How did this do? 7.6 on an LC2. How impressive is that? Yeah, no, we're gonna let you rest now, little LC2. That's a bit much for you. Hey, Rudy. Oh man. Okay, so let's review what we've done today. What did we do today? So we found out that the CUDA chip from a Power Mac 6200 will work on a LC475. So that was a cool little finding. Yeah, this one should be, yeah, we took it off of this board. So if you have a LC475, as we did with a bad EGRET, you can take it off a Power Mac 6200. What else did we find? We found that there's something else wrong with my Macintosh IIvx bad board that is basically causing it to short out to like 4.1 volts on the 5-volt standby when the EGRET is on the board. So that means whatever that EGRET is connected to is being pulled low. So got to figure out what's going on there. And then we found out that my Mac Classic 2 is not booting, but not because of the EGRET chip. So that's what we're dealing with. That was a lot of stuff. And while we didn't fix everything, I feel like there was progress being made on stuff. So I feel like today's stream was kind of a win. All right, we have some time. Should we tear this thing apart and figure out what the heck's inside here? Set you aside. This might be a regret. So for folks that weren't on the stream yesterday, I plug this guy in. It's basically 120 volts to coax, and nothing happened. And that's good. And one thing yesterday we were looking at, I think we were only looking at volts AC. So basically there's no electricity getting through this thing. What happens with volts DC? Someone told me it's a power inverter or power injector, but it's not injecting any power. And so I think this is just a thing that people would use to try to use their house wiring as an antenna. But considering that there's like no continuity between anything, like I just don't understand. I mean, obviously I'm not an electronics expert, but it just, nothing makes sense here. So we're not doing Vegemite again. We did Vegemite yesterday. So I think what we're gonna do is use a little cutoff wheel. We're gonna make a giant mess here at the big bed bench. Let me grab a cutoff wheel for the Dremel. Ooh, actually, this looks like a good cutoff wheel for the Dremel. This one looks dangerous. Uh-oh, where'd my wrench go? There's my wrench. But yeah, there was no connection, right? And like, I mean, obviously I'm an idiot, but I don't understand what's happening here. So I think this is just a totally fake thing that is not going anywhere. All right, here we go. We could zoom in a little bit more. This is real science right here. This is gonna make a giant mess. Always wear gloves, kids. Ooh, this smells like 1956. Oh. Okay, so there's something metal in here. Look at that. That is some dust. It's probably pure asbestos. Like I always say, never do anything that you see me do here at the big bed bench. So there were sparks in there hitting something along the way. Yeah, I think this thing might require a little bit more work than I'm prepared to do today. I was hoping that it would be kind of empty. But yeah, there could be a transformer in there, but you'd expect some continuity across different things. yeah, that thing is like solid. Looks like hard candy. I might have to get a little bit creative with this for the extraction. It's totally potted. All right. Well, I guess we're not going to be able to do this today. Actually, 1 second, real quick. Let's use some hot air. I did learn from working on the Dallas chips or modules that sometimes some of this potting gets very brittle if you heat it up a little bit. Alright, so the outer part got gummy. But yeah, I think the potting got kind of brittle. So the outer part's sort of peeling off. I guess that's how I'm gonna have to do it. Alright, do you want me to get the vise back out? I was using the vise to make a bracket. Stick it in the vise. Justin says, hit it with a hammer. That's always good advice. Let's heat it up. Yeah, that's working pretty good. The outer part's getting gummy, but let's sort of cut that off. Yeah, see how it's real brittle when you heat it up? Just like a Dallas module. Probably releases toxic smoke, but you know, whatever. I wish I had an X-ray. I would love to stick this in the X-ray. Hello, Brian. Who else am I missing? Hey, it's Sloopy Malibu. How you doing, Sloopy? There's some brown stuff in here. Looks like we hit a Bakelite layer. Yeah, look at how hard that got already. It's amazing how the heat makes the potting brittle. Alright, we made it to one of our prongs. Watch there be no wire coming out of it. Nope, there's a wire. Keep that outer layer up. It's like some brown stuff. Of course, the hot air is blowing everything up into the air, making me inhale all this. Doing it all for you folks. I'm doing this so that you don't have to. It's like we hit another layer of stuff that's hard. It's like it's full of rocks. Probably like alien eggs. Yeah, look at this. Let's look at this under the microscope. Okay. Yeah, these are rocks. I think these are rocks. I think that it's full of rocks. This is the weirdest thing. Oh yeah. So, I mean, they're covered in potting, but look at their shape. That's just, those are rocks. These are tiny little rocks. We are getting to something here. And I do see a wire down in there. But like, there's a rock right on top. There's a rock right there. As Tech Ambrosia says, how else are you supposed to get it ground? Oh, there it goes. There goes one of the rocks. There you go. Little rock guy. What the heck, man? That looks like a ferrite bead or something. But there's more rocks. It's just a bunch of rocks. What the heck is this thing? Oh man, this is silly. This is weird and silly. All right, I guess we're going back in the vise. What's going on, Joe? Welcome. Oh, jeez. Okay, here we go. Garth Googled coax to mains rock adapter. Nothing came up. The vice of knowledge. I love that. I don't know. Is this the stupidest thing I've ever done on stream? I've done a lot of stupid stuff. This has to be right up there. Why are there rocks in it? So for those of you that joined late, we actually did something useful at one point today. We learned a lot about EGRETs. The most important being that you can use a PowerMax 6200, or I guess it's a CUDA in that situation, to repair an LC475. Because who really cares about PowerMax 6200 boards? More rocks. Nothing but rocks. Oh, there's a wire. We found a wire. Oh, there's another wire. Oh, the big bad bench is becoming such a mess right now. Yeah, as Bree says, filler material. Couple wires there. Oh, coming up to another place. Okay. Just rocks flying everywhere. Oh, this is such a mess. You get this awesome combination of brittle and gummy from the inside versus the outside. So we almost have something that seems to go all the way across. You can see in there there's like a wire that goes there to there, but we know it's not connected because, oh, it might be like a piece of Bakelite. Okay, I think it's a piece of Bakelite. Because there was no continuity across any of these things. Okay, let's try to get some more of this off. Oh, the lost knowledge. Yeah. This was important for the future of humanity. This shit got us to the moon. There we go. Oh, down here is rubber. Smells of burning rubber right now. Oh, we're almost out of PCB. Alright, there you can see a little piece of PCB. Got a ferrite bead there. Yeah, I'm sure Joe wants to sell these on jcm-1.com. Steve, you missed all the exciting, well, it wasn't even exciting, but it was informative, the stuff we did earlier. Now we're just making a giant mess because this thing is full of rocks. Hit the like button, people. What the heck? Come on, bro. How could you not like this mess? Okay. All right, we've made a lot of progress here. You can see PCB on both sides of this, or Bakelite, whatever, however old this is. Basically, we're just destroying this for science right now. And for those of you just joining late, yeah, there was basically the potting is full of rocks, which was a fun discovery. Big Bad Bench is probably dirtier than it's ever been. Okay, so there is a wire connected to this. No? Well, I might have destroyed it. We're getting close. We're getting real close. There you go. So we have sort of like an inductor. I don't know. Let's see what happens on the other side. Oh, what a mess. I just looked down at the Big Bad Bench. Oh, this is awful. Okay, whatever. It'll be okay. We got a lot more rocks on this side to excavate still. Oh, yeah. Now it's all coming off. Okay, gotta be careful with the heat. I see solder. This is a good example of how heating up potting makes it brittle. So this is sort of educational, right? Oh, we got a resistor. There we go. We freed a resistor up. Freed another resistor. I think this needs to be engineered into the next revision of the picogus. It's clearly very important technology. It's got to be doing something. It can't not be doing nothing, right? So we have... Oh, okay. Okay. I think I understand a thing. All right. All right. All right. I think I'm seeing something here. Okay. Ow. It's hot. Okay. All right. So let's put this under the microscope real quick and show you what's going on. Oof. Oh, there we are. I wondered why this was getting dark. Okay. All right, so out of here, we go into a capacitor. Out of here, we go into a capacitor. The other two sides of that capacitor are pulled together and go over here through the PCB into this little inductor, and then that goes over to the BNC thing. Okay, all right. So this is smarter than anything I could imagine. But yeah, this is silly. Out of the one side of the capacitor is hooked up to mains, the other side of the capacitor is hooked up to the inductor. So that's that. And that somehow makes your reception magic, is how I'm imagining this to work. So there you go. If anyone wants to reverse engineer this and make $1 billion, there you go. Well, I'm glad we did that. Joe says it injects 60 hertz hum into your audio. Oh man, let's do a zoom out on the big bad bench and let me show you what we're dealing with here. Oh man, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, hey JVHS. There you go. We got a big bad bench full of rocks. I don't know. What was the most productive thing we did today? I think the most productive thing was that we learned that a PowerMax 6200 CUDA works in an LC475. That's important work. The rest of this, look at this. We got rocks all over the place. Rocks and potting. There we go. The friends we made along the way, yeah. So we figured out how this thing works. That was something. I'm not going to plug this back in. The insulation bit was kind of important, I think. Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for today. We made a big enough mess, and I probably have a week's worth of cleaning to fix this. I want to thank you all for stopping by. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, that would be awesome. And then, yeah, we will be back next weekend. Hopefully not doing anything this silly. Oh, you know what? Next weekend is going to be December. And I have several December videos or streams, ideas for streams. So definitely want to check in for December shenanigans. But yeah. All right. So tonight, Tech Ambrosia is streaming at 6 o'clock Eastern. I think she's working on a laptop. I forget. I remember seeing it. She changed what she told me to do, or what she was going to do. Make sure to check out tomorrow, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech. And yeah, we'll be back at it next weekend. Thank you all for hanging out. Oh yeah, Tech Ambrosia is working on a Panasonic TUF book. You definitely want to check that out. Socket wrench, hello. Like TV or radio is much higher frequency than main, so if you filter out the 60 hertz, you use the main's copper as antenna. So there you go. So thanks, Socket wrench. All right, have a nice week, y'all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a lovely week. Bye.